Hi, my name is Kayla and I'm from IPEKA Integrated Christian School. Now I'm here to talk about the forgotten power of perspective. Perspective. How often do you hear that word? And yet how often do you really reflect on the perspectives you have about the world around you? For me, perspective is something I struggled with for a long time. It is not rare for me to see the negative side of things. One of the examples was when I was in year 9. There are many things to study and prepare for once you are a year 9 student. The pulse of schoolwork gets so tall that I often work through the night to finish studying. Because of that, I often took naps during the weekends because my eyelids were just too heavy. When I woke up, instead of feeling refreshed, I was annoyed. Why? Because I thought that the time used for me to sleep can actually help me to catch up with my studies. You see, my perspective of taking naps that I have made me frustrated. But when I tried to view naps from the other perspective, I was glad that I decided to take a nap. Naps help the brain to recover, and this makes it easier for us to understand and absorb more of the things we're studying. From this change of perspective, I have a more stress-free life because it was easier for me to catch what I was studying compared to me pushing myself to stay awake and study. This has been the case for many of us here. We have been looking at things from the wrong perspective. There's no such thing as a right or wrong perspective, but what I mean by a wrong perspective here is the perspective that makes our life more miserable. It is the perspective that does not match with our lifestyle. It is not that a certain perspective can lead to a serious dissatisfaction towards life, but another perspective may be the key to build a happier and healthier life. I believe that just like me, many of us are stubbornly viewing life negatively. We fail to realize how much of an impact a change of perspective can make on our lives and well-being. A survey done by the Telegraph shows that out of 2,000 people, 60% of it feels trapped with their routine, while 40% are unhappy with their lives. The FSP says that an average of 123 suicides happen each day. This is important as I can see the real-life example around me. There is someone in school that keeps on telling how she does not like every single part of the day. She complains about the routine she's going through, making it seem that her life is a very heavy burden. I have seen many people around me and in this world that are not satisfied with their lives. They complain without trying to see what things that they can actually be grateful for. In fact, according to the complaint-free website, people complain on an average of 15 to 30 times each day. They wish they have the lives of others, thinking that kind of lives are perfect and without flaw. The saying, the grass is always greener on the other side, may sound cliché, but it is so true to so many of us. We envy other people's lives, not realizing that they too are struggling. Moreover, we do not realize how beautiful our own lives are. It is important to understand that every kind of life has its own ups and downs, and that what differs others' lives with theirs is the way how the situation was dealt with. Another reason is that I myself have experienced how a change of perspective changes the outcome of the situation that I'm dealing with. It was like a miracle. What I thought I cannot go through turns out to be one of the best moments of my life. I know a quote, but I simply can't remember who says it. But it goes like this. It's not about the situation you're in, it's about the way you approach it. Using this quote as an inspiration, I want to show you how your life can change 180 degrees just by changing the way you think. Or shall I say, your perspective. We all may know the term perspective, but do we have a clear understanding of what our perspective is? A perspective is basically how you view and feel about things. It is shaped by your culture and the experiences you have went through, and it's what influences your lifestyle and beliefs. We all have different perspectives towards different things. One of the famous illustrations of this is the half-filled glass of water. Person A might view it as a glass half empty, while person B might view it as a glass half full. This variation in perspectives is what makes learning from others possible. Of course, this difference in perspectives is really beneficial. Let me give you an example. There are 5 days of final exams and I have went through 3 of the days. I complained about still having 2 more days to go, but my friend reminded me that I have done 3 days of the finals. My friend's perspective assured me that I can go through just 2 days of the finals left when I have finished 3. Once again, because we all have different perspectives, changing our perspectives is very powerful for a happy life. Sadly, most of us here focuses on the negative side of things. This is just part of the human nature. We choose to view situations as how it appears without realizing that there is more to the problem than the way it appears. We view a busy and stressful life as something that is burdening. In reality, we can actually learn things from having a busy life that we may not otherwise realize. By having a busy life, we learn to appreciate little things like family gatherings or the nature around us. So yes, this negativity has been all around us, and you may think that it is impossible to live in this 21st century just with positivity. Yes, this has been a major problem, but I'm here to tell you how simple it is to change your perspective to have a happier life. Just like what Robin Sharma says, never overlook the power of simplicity. The people surrounding us have such a great influence on the way we act. Maybe we're in a situation where a friend complained about this and that, and you just don't have the same urge to complain. Yet, because you don't want to be seen as weird, you decided to complain. By doing this, you are making it a habit for you to, in this case, complain. It is agreed that one of the effective ways to stop being negative is to ask yourselves these questions. What can I learn from this? Or, are there any people in the world out there that have less than what I do now? These questions will help you to consider another perspective, which is what you truly think about the situation, not just the default setting of being negative. By pausing yourself from either swearing or looking at situations the bad way, you let your anger subside and can make an unbiased judgment of the situation. It allows you to digest the situation you're going through and not just directly deciding that it is a bad situation where you cannot get anything out of it. Through the change of perspective from the negative one to a more positive one, you'll have a happier life because your mind is assured that whatever you're going through right now will be of great help to you in the future. We all have the choice to view things from the negative side or from a brighter side. Focusing on the lesson instead of the problem is one of the solutions. This may seem hard, so let me give you an example. I was hospitalized when I was in grade 5. I felt painful and tired throughout my whole week at the hospital. I knew I had homework and tests to catch up on. I was ready, actually more than ready, to consider this time being at the hospital as one of the worst situations of my life. But that view changed the moment my mom came inside the room. She brought with her a card from my best friend at school. My best friend wrote a get well soon card for me, telling me how she misses me at school. I learned an incredible thing from my time in the hospital, that I have someone that cares about me at school. The time in the hospital turned from being the worst to the best. From my story, it is safe to deduce that there are always lessons from every situation. By choosing to focus on the possible lessons it can bring, problems should no longer be viewed as something that can take happiness away from your life. Instead, problems are pauses in life that will make life more valuable. I can choose to focus on the pain and hurt I felt during my time in the hospital, but I chose not to let this unique moment of my life to go to waste. I chose to focus on the brighter side this time, and it turned out to make me realize something I could have not if I hadn't been in the hospital. In order for us to view the situations we are in to be valuable because of the possible lessons it can bring, we should be the one to find those lessons. It is not up to our parents, siblings, or even close friends to decide what we learn. With this in mind, it is necessary to change the way our brain perceives the situations. If we are used to understand situations superficially, we need to look beneath the surface of it. small details, and questions you have for a more experienced person in a specific area will definitely help you in having a deeper understanding of the situation you're facing, instead of jumping into conclusions that this situation will ruin your life. You cannot have a successful career as a doctor if you view your years and years of study just like a regular routine. You need to view your studies with a different perspective. Maybe you can view your studies as something that will definitely help you in achieving your lifelong dream. This change in perspective changes the way you think about your studies and may result in a better change of outcome. It will also be of help, according to Dr. Terry Kennedy, to write down your beliefs and values in a notebook and make some changes to it as you experience things more and more. By doing this, you are shaping your own perspective to be what helps you to think the best of life. Just like your perspective is shaped by what you are constantly taught, your perspective can also be influenced by your beliefs and values that has been modified as you review them regularly. Your brain will then respond to situations the same way your beliefs and values will respond to it. Nothing lasts forever. No problems will last forever. Because of that, look on the bright side. There is always the way out. Try to find the good from the bad situation and enjoy every moment of it, because every problem will have lessons that will be useful. Being negative in such times of trouble will just make the situation harder to cope with. I'm not encouraging you to be overly optimistic, but what I'm trying to say is that being negative will not at all help you to solve the problem. It will be perfect if you can balance being negative and positive, so that you can think of what can go wrong while you're trying to solve the problem. The only thing that keeps you from being happy with your own life is your own perspective. How you look at your life determines how you live, and therefore the outcome of your life. Perspective may seem insignificant in your life, but there lies a great power within your own perspective. Really, you just need to change your perspective. Change your perspective that will make you wake up ready to make a difference. Focusing on the lesson instead of the problem, and stay positive. No problem will last forever. This world is a tough world, and you will need the right perspective to survive it. Thank you.